Thanks everyone for having us here today. Agenda will basically be to go a little bit through like the current like builder landscape, some of the challenges and some of the opportunities that is available to builders in the Filecoin ecosystem today. So for those that joined and watched like the FDS, the on-chain tech stack track on Friday. We will dive a little bit deeper into the technicalities of a lot of these like new primitives in the Filecoin stack, like PDP, FWS, F3, etc. And for the people that was not there, don't worry. I will give you guys a quick intro to like what these new and exciting opportunities in the Falcon stack is before I will give the stage to the developers to give you a really deep dive and how like builders can leverage these new primitives. Let me. I can share my screen as well, Sarah, if you are fine with
Okay,
that.
hoping this should be good now.
Yeah, it should be good. So we will go through like what FWS means for creators and like how to build with PDP. We'll also take a look at like the performance of Filecoin node implementations to see like what are the differences between like these implementations and how Filecoin is keeping up with the Ethereum virtual machine upgrades, making it easier for builders to deploy their contracts on Filecoin. We'll take a look at like how builders can leverage F3 and get faster finality times through the Lotus F3 Aware APIs. And we'll also take a look at like how you can run your own subgraph on Filecoin. Um, so I think today's goal is basically showcasing how builders can harness all these like new primitives in the Falcon stack to create apps with a lot more ease and tap into the large like pool of storage, compute, and networking that is available in the ecosystem today. And hopefully we can get builders to engage in a lot of these roadmaps and also join some early builders and service provider programs that we'll give a update on. So a lot of the talks today are directional talks, but we also want, since this is a builders focused track, we also want people to ask actively questions and leverage any like FAQ sections a bit more if you have like technical questions answered. So we have like some extra time set off between each talk for this purpose, so don't hesitate to ask any questions. Okay, Sarah, I think that was the intro from my side, so maybe I'll hand it off to you to give a update on the builder ecosystem.
Cool, thanks, Arjun. All right, so yes, so Arjun is here is from the Philos team, and I'm from the Philby team. So we've been working really closely with the Philos team, who's doing a lot of protocol R&D, and you've heard a lot from them in the past week one, and now we are on to week two. The Philby team does a lot of developer experience and community engagement with the Phil Builder community and the technical community on Filecoin. So yeah, thank you, Arjun, for kicking it off. So I will share a little bit around the current landscape of the builder ecosystem on Filecoin, just to get everyone a little bit excited and kind of know the community that you are a part of, that you will hear more talks today on, what's coming up and how you can participate. So So if you have been around in the Filecoin ecosystem, or if you're new, would just happy to give a little bit of a recap over what we've been doing in the past 6 months. The last PhilDev Summit we had was in Bangkok, which was back in November. Honestly, I feel like time has flown past really quickly. We're now like in April, which is insane, and we are at our next PhilDev Summit. So from then till now, there are a lot of things that have happened. And if you've been a part of this, awesome. If not, we hope to see you in the next few coming up. But these are the things that you can look out for. So we've had Filecoin Hacker Houses. We've been having a pretty robust series. We've had our first one in Bangkok, which was awesome. We had about 30 hackers on site. Out of that, we had teams presenting at Edge City Lana based on what they hacked during the week. So we're looking forward to more collaborations, not just having a hacker house, but then also being part of like the wider Web3 ecosystem and bringing projects into there. We also had many different teams visiting us throughout the course of the Hacker House for a week. We had a similar one in Denver very recently, and that was more of an internal Filecoin one where we had a lot of core teams hacking on in really important features that are coming up. A lot of them you've heard about in the Friday track on the on-chain stack. So that was a really cool one. Do look out. We'll definitely be doing one in Argentina, cross fingers. But we do look out for builders that are, big contributors in the ecosystem, have been very, very participative in the community, and we would love to invite them to these hacker houses. So if you are part of the community and you do want to take part, please get more involved and, say hi to us. We'll know you're around. So when you apply, we'll know what you're building, and it'll be really cool to have you there as well. On top of that, we've also been having Filecoin Orbit boot camps. This is a little bit of a new curriculum, and big shout out to the Africa community that just held their Filecoin boot camp in the past 2 weeks, and they had a mini hackathon as well. And so we are working very closely with different Orbit members in the wider community and in around the world to host their own technical boot camps and have more people building and hacking on Filecoin. We've also had some in India, and I know, for example, like Bharat and Enoch have been very, very participative here and hosting local communities. So if you want to do something in your area and have your own technical bootcamp, do reach out to us as well. That has been kicking off, and we'd love to see a little bit of a showcase, maybe in the coming months, of all the different projects that have been built. PhilDev Summit, obviously, I just want to give a shout out to the Bangkok one. I thought that was awesome. It was like sold out. It was very packed, and we're having a virtual one and testing out new formats, but a lot of good stuff does come out of it. So do participate if you're in the area. We'd love to see people in Toronto as well. We've been having coding challenges on Filecoin as well. So if you are a little bit newer to the Filecoin ecosystem and want to get started, we have coding challenges that that happen in seasons. So every quarter we tend to have one. We had one previously right before Denver, and we've been giving out like either certifications or hosting mini hackathons to then give builders a stage. A space on stage during our Code and Corgi meetups to then present their builder projects and then get feedback from people in the crowd. So that's really awesome. Do look out for that. That is like kind of getting you started into the Filecoin ecosystem. So that has been happening as well. We just concluded our first Filecoin AI hackathon with Encode. So we know AI has been a really, really big topic. Of course, on the back of that, a lot of data is needed. And so we've had honestly, like really awesome submissions. We have a finale coming out on May 5th. We had about 86 submissions from this AI hackathon in partnership with Encode. And a lot of different teams seeing how you can run AI compute and then store that data or store your models onto Filecoin and then call it to be able to run that compute, or different data DAO scenarios and using AI on top of that to filter out content or to better get better data stored on Filecoin. So that has been a really cool one to look out for. We also have another hackathon coming out, which I'll talk about in the next slide. And we've been having Filecoin Code and Corgi meetups, which is a new series that we've started piloting since Bangkok. These are our Filecoin community meetups. We have been hosting them with the Orbit community, as well as Filecoin Foundation, as well as some third-party partners that have been hosting together with us. So for example, we did it with Phoenix Guild in Bangkok, and we're also looking out for new partners as we come up to the Euro summer in Prague, as well as in Berlin. Lastly, in the past 6 months, we've been launching the Fill-Frame and iterating on the Fill-Frame Deb Starter Kit. This has been used quite popularly in hackathons with a front end built in, as well as different integrations that we're building in. So all the different tools that we're adding, you'll hear some of them coming up in today's track. All these different new features that you can use on Filecoin, we've been adding to this Deb Starter Kit as different branches, so you can always use that to very quickly launch your Deb onto Filecoin to get you started. So I know I've just gone through a lot, but these are all the really cool highlights that have been happening in the community in the past 6 months, really. And we have a lot more coming up in the next few. So if you're interested in participating, we have some ongoing programs that you can take advantage of. We have Protocol Labs Dev Guild. I think I just heard we had about almost 500 applications in the very recent cohort, which is crazy. And so if you want to be part of that and get rewarded for open source contributions and take your first step into the open source world, this is a really great one to get started on. All the teams that you've seen in the past few days and the upcoming days will be participating in that as well. That is a lot, yes. There is a lot to review as well, which is probably what's going to happen after I get off this call. And then we also have the Phil Builder Next Step Grants program. So we have started this November last year, and we're continuing to give out grants to builders of 5 to 10K to get started with your interesting projects. We've awarded about 4 projects to date that are really good criteria there on what we're looking for, and we're really looking for teams that are willing to build for the long term and partner with us on that. So do apply if you're interested. And as I mentioned earlier on, we have Filecoin Orbit Bootcamps where we have a curriculum that we're working with local ambassadors to build up and run their own bootcamp. So even if you're not a pro, we're here to work with you. We have a whole team to work with you, and you can run that in your local community. So those are all ongoing right now. You can definitely participate in those. Upcoming, we have the Filecoin AI Blueprints finale on May 5th. You can watch all the awesome 12 finalists presenting their submissions using AI with Filecoin. Trust me, they're good. Check it out. We'll be at ETH Global Prague. So if you want to hack away, we will be giving out bounties at ETH Global Prague. We will also be having our first Protocol Labs hackathon coming up end of May. More details to come soon, but it should be running for a month. And I think the really cool thing about that is that after that, we're going to run something very similar to what we did with the FVM when we first launched, which is working with teams for about 6 months to get them to a point where they will get more serious funding and more serious funding commitment to then build up their projects in the long term. So that will be running all the way to the end of the year. The hackathon first and then the post-hack kind of nurture program right after that. So that would be a really interesting one to look out for. We have Code and Corgi meetups. Do meet the community in Prague and Berlin. Look out for that. And we have the Filecoin Web Services Early Builder Community Program, which is, I'm so sorry for my cat that just came out in front of me. And yes, that will be happening very soon, working with the on-chain stack stuff that you've heard in the past week. We will be hosting early builder programs and working with teams for a longer period. Lastly, coding challenges will be open for newer participants to the Filecoin ecosystem. So all this is all upcoming. If you're interested, look at the bottom right corner. You'll see the Phil Builders Twitter channel. We'll be posting a lot of those opportunities there. You can look out for those. And yeah, that is everything that's happening in the community and what's coming up. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Let me just
I'll-
reshare my screen. Sorry, my phone. Yeah. But yes, and Arjan, I would love to pass it on to you and reshare my screen. I think one thing that I would like to mention too is Arjan's going to be talking a lot about core improvements coming up to Filecoin. And so yeah, one of the things I wanted to mention too was some of the challenges that we've been facing as builders. I did talk a lot about community stuff, but as a stack, things that we've really been focusing on improving is maintaining EVM compatibility and adding more tools that builders can use to build cross-chain applications. So I'll let Arjun jump into that and talk more about the improvements coming up.
Thanks so much. Yeah, so as Sarah said, like we are listening and we value like builder feedback a lot, and we have been improving a lot based on that feedback. So I'm just going to mention a couple of you here to like set the stage for the next talks. We have a very large focus on like ETH API index improvements, focusing on like correctness and speed, and these are now leveraged by RPC providers. We got like new EVM opcodes supported in Filecoin, so that we were on par with the Denkun Ethereum upgrade. And this makes like the experience of deploying EVM dApps easier if you're using Filecoin. Then we have like these really new like primitives, which I talked about, that were talked about on Friday's talk. These are like proof of data possession, which is a totally new proof in Filecoin, which is designed to like work alongside ProRep. So this is done in Fevm, which makes it a lot easier for builders to leverage, iterate on, and like do whatever they want with, which is something we've heard as a feedback earlier. It's hard in Filecoin. And so this new primitive is focused on verifying that data is accessible at specific points in time, and is like useful for applications that needs data to be accessed frequently. Then we have F3 activation, and that is coming tomorrow. And this one is a big one. We're going to speed up finality in Filecoin by 100x, which is a lot. Last I checked, we are reaching finality consistently between like 5 and 10 epochs. from the chain head, which means that translates to like 2.5 minutes, 5 minutes. And this unlocks a lot of like builder potential, making the chain and like environment more responsive for builders, makes it easier to go across chain and bridging and so on. We got like USD FC, similar to MakerDAO's DAI in the ETH ecosystem. Fill-backed stablecoins are in beta phase. Then we also have this new Filecoin web services, a framework of deploying composable cloud services. And we also have other FEM, EVM compatibility opcodes coming up in the next network upgrades. I want to highlight Molly's talk on Friday. It gives a lot better overview of like what is coming down the roadmap. I just want to set the stage that we are listening to the builders and we are basically trying to make your lives a lot easier. And with that, I think we are. I'm going to give the stage to the next speaker, which will talk a little bit more about FWS.